What kind of fool do you take me for? He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward! Are there any other Squidwards I should know about?
It seems you couldn't make it to my show.
You're watching Corvid's Junkyard, posting what we want, when we want. This ain't your mama's YouTube channel.
I'm waking up.
Hello and welcome to my ranking of every single Michael Afton in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. This is another unscripted video, so bear with me. I'm still really bad at intros. So you know the drill. Go grab some water, go grab a snack, go grab something else to do. We're not going to do second screens. Be productive. Tuck yourselves into bed if you are off to sleep. And let's go ahead and get into it. So, like I said, we're going to be ranking every single Michael Afton, but when I say that, it's not my personal opinion on how much I like them. It's how Michael Afton they are. So, at the top we have Father, it's me, Michael, and that's going to be our, without a shadow of a doubt, canon Michaels. With like a few exceptions when they're like a really, really good Michael parallel. Then we've got Eggs Benedict, which is going to be like, that is most certainly either a Michael Afton canon that like has a shadow of a doubt on them, or like really, really good Michael Afton dupes. And then we got the Mike Schmidt territory, which is really funny because I don't think the Mike Schmidts are going in this territory. But these are going to be like above a 50-50 chance, so like a 60-40% chance that that's a Mike, like they've got a lot of Mike characteristics, but there's just something holding them back. Then we got the It's Him, that's an It's Me reference, where it's like, I can see where that Mike is coming from, but they're more their own character than anything else. Then we got the Remnant of Michael. Did I spell Remnant right? Yeah, I spelled Remnant right. It looks wrong in that font. So these are going to be characters that really, really don't seem to be Mike in my opinion, but like they've got enough characteristics that they made the list. And then we got Not Even a Purple. They're not Michaels at all. They just, someone at some point has said that they were a Michael Afton and they don't belong on this list in my personal opinion. Or the public opinion in most of their cases. So here's the thing about this video, though, that I'm going to be fully transparent on, is that I recorded this yesterday. It's now today. Yesterday's video was an hour and 30 minutes. So, if you guys want a different video where I go through and explain my reasoning on all of these guys, that's a different video. That's a scripted video. We are not going to spend more than 30 seconds on each of these guys because I think there's like 45 of them. So 30 seconds each. I'm not going to go into too much depth other than who they are, what they are, Mike traits. And also, if after 45 Michael Aftons, if I missed a Michael Afton, please let me know and defend yourself. Or defend that Mike. You don't have to defend yourself if you don't personally believe they're a Mike. And let me know if you disagree with any of these, because I might be controversial. Who knows? We'll find out. I haven't released the video, either one. We're going to start with the mostly canon Michaels at the top, just so you guys know what I'm talking about when I mean Michael Afton. And then after that, they're kind of just in a random order that they showed up in when I loaded them in. So, first and foremost, we have the bully brother, foxy bro, older brother, everything he's been called, Michael Afton. Straight up to the top. He is an older brother. He's the older brother of the Afton children, so we know from the house that he's Cece's older brother. He's Elizabeth's older brother. He is a bully, which in my opinion is actually a pretty important trait to the Michaels that a lot of people like to ignore. He killed his brother. He does feel bad about it, though. Alright, then we got my favorite Michael Afton, which is the security logbook Mike. I think this is really where we see his adult personality shine through. He's a night guard. Night guards are important, but obviously not exclusive. He's very funny. He is an artist, which is a relevant thing for some of these other characters. He does not want to work at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but obviously has like some form of obligation He is also trying to protect other people because he's defacing this book and calling it his survival logbook and is like setting up advice for other people. And we know that he is a Mike because his name is Mike, and the Foxy Bro specifically because of when he says, the child fell on Freddy's teeth. That's not our fault. Then we are getting into Eggs Benedict. He sets up a very important rule that the Mikes need to be British. Again, it's not going to exclude anyone from this row, but the Aftons are British. He has been scooped. He, first of all, has the monologue, where he says his name is Michael. He is going after his father. He likes TV. He likes popcorn. He's trying to find his sister. At this point, it's very ambiguous as to whether or not he's still working for his father, and that's another important trait, in my opinion, is kind of having those complicated daddy issues. The reluctant follower is going to be really, really important, and also, he's got the middle part, the big, ugly smile. Not ugly, it's delightful, but it is off-putting, in my opinion. All right, now we have FNAF 3 Night Guard, who, controversial opinion. I'm gonna put him up here. He's going in Father It's Me, Michael. He might belong in Eggs Benedict just because he kind of doesn't have a whole lot of personality other than working for Freddy's for seemingly no reason. Other than, like, obviously he is setting up Happiest Day in this game. Yeah. And he is probably trying to find Springtrap, or his father. Is his father. You guys get it. Then we have Pizza Sim, the brave volunteer, the white bear, another canon Michael. At least I really, really hope he is, because otherwise Henry killed this man for no reason. He is really bad at having a job. Oh, another one is that all of the Michaels are getting fired, man. None of these guys can hold a job, except for, I guess, security logbook, because he seems to want out and can't seem to get it. He is there to finish what his father started. He is gathering up all the souls, gathering up all the animatronics that are left behind in partnership with Henry. We're not gonna dismiss Henry's role in this. Yeah, so he's Michael. And then we got the Nightmare FNAF 4 child or adult. Unclear what age he would be at the time of FNAF 4. He is a night guard. Sorry, I forgot to say that Brave Volunteer is an entrepreneur and a night guard. He is night guarding his own bedroom or his baby brother's bedroom. Bro is also just off the Fazgoop because either he's being nightmared or agonied. Unclear. I don't know if someone wants to tell me where we all stand on that theory right now, because I haven't formed my opinion just yet. He is either unwillingly or potentially willingly. No way that he's like legitimately willingly, but like whether or not he believes that he's doing this by his own free will. Rory a lot faster, but Rory has ended to the bottom of the list. Anyways, he is helping William whether he likes it or not. So, like, definition of the reluctant volunteer, because I can't imagine Michael at any age in his life being like, yeah, I'll go into your nightmare chamber. That sounds like fun. And then we have a Michael that is very different than the rest of them, with the exception of like maybe Foxy Bro. He's got Foxy Bro vibes. We have movie Michael Afton. Uh he's got a lot in common with Eggs Benedict with that face. Again, I have said it before and I will continue to say it. The way that they cast a pixel art character so perfectly is so funny to me and incredible. So he is the younger child, if not the middle child, of the Afton family, in my personal opinion. If you want to go watch my Afton family pictures video, shameless plug, where I kind of explain why I think that he's the younger brother, mostly just because he looks so much younger than Vanessa does. He is most certainly helping his father to his detriment. I'm gonna move the mic back. I think I'm blowing it out right now. He is drinking up that Fazbear Kool-Aid. He is also a night guard in his 20s. He's the night guard of the toy location and probably some other ones. I'm guessing. We'll see how many Fazbears there ends up being. Downside, I forgot to mention that Foxy is, in my opinion, very important to Michael Afton. He doesn't need to be associated with Foxy, but it's a huge plus if he is. Whereas this guy seems to really like Toy Bonnie, and who could blame him? Toy Bonnie is so funny in that movie. Yeah, so he very, very much is not well. Yeah, going back to like the nightmares, where it's like I don't know that he's willing, but he is certainly participating, and he's enthusiastic about it. Manly style, I guess. All right, now we're getting into the everyone else. Now we got Mike Schmidt, who cannot hold a job. He is the oldest of three siblings. He has a lot of trauma issues. He is the unwilling accomplice to William Afton, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but like again, he becomes a night guard at a Freddy's location, and is just in the nature of doing that job that makes him an accomplice to William Afton. So he's gonna go in eggs Benedict, just because he's not. First of all, there would be two. Well, no, just because there's two doesn't exclude them from, like, if they're in the same thing and they're both clearly Mikes, that's not going to exclude them in the future. Mostly because he doesn't really seem to have a lot of the same characteristics. Like, as much as he's over Freddy's, it doesn't seem to be like Freddy's itself as much as it is just like the situation that he's in. Because who wouldn't want out? Who wouldn't? Yeah. Also, he's a pretty good older brother, all things considered. All right, now on to the Fox from Bear of Vengeance in Ultimate Custom Night. He is very much giving off older brother vibes with between him and the bear. So a lot of people think that a lot of people assume that he is likely Michael, and then the bear would be Cece. Because a lot of between their like squabbles, when he is able to beat the bear, he ends up giving him like punishments, and it's like, you have to wear a silly hat. You need to watch this frog. You have to do my lawn. And then we have the second half of Bear of Vengeance. So quickly, if you don't know, there's technically two different storylines happening in Bear of Vengeance. There's the English and then there's the Japanese one. So in the Japanese one, he is still very much trying to annoy Cece. I think that the Kingfisher Kookaburra could be more so a reference to like the way that he torments him with Foxy. So he's going up into Father It's Me, Michael. Now we have the bear from Bear of Vengeance, where he is Michael, and then the fox is instead William. And I think in the English, it's kind of rough because again they're going through that like, oh, he has to do the laundry for me, and that's just not that's just expected of a child in most households. That's not a punishment. I mean, for William it probably is. He also, towards the end, more importantly, when he finally beats the fox, he calls it like a temporary victory where the fox will be gone, but he knows that they are fated to meet again, so he is going to go and find him. And that is a lot more clear to me that that is William being springlocked. And then we have the translation version where he is trying to get rid of the Kookaburra and the Kingfisher, and it's very hard to tell them apart, which uh, I think a lot talks to like when they're still living together and they're working together, where he knows that something is off. William is masquerading around between being the Yellow Rabbit and his father and the company owner, and he's like, "Nah, this ain't real, buddy." Um, and then there's also when he starts drowning, and I think that that for me was actually really, really strong evidence that he could be a Michael. Because to me, really feels like potentially when he gets turned into Ennard, and he's having to live with the souls inside of him as well. I said I was going to spend 30 seconds on each of these characters. It's not going well for me. I would love to sit here and talk for 15 minutes on each of them at minimum. Anyways, the bear is going up into eggs Benedict, and he can go up. I think we're getting los dos. They can be the same. All right, now we have Alec from Lonely Freddy, and here is a character I could spend a lot of time talking about, but we're gonna be fast. He is going into Schmidt territory. because I think that they held their punches way too much in Lonely Freddy, and that's not a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people think that. Because again, like Michael Afton killed his brother. Alec forgot to take in the laundry from outside and like at one point growls at his sister. But he does like Foxy. But anyways, these two are not the same. All right, now we're getting into a faster one. The poster from Pizza Sim, where we have the puppet master and his ventriloquist dummy, as well as the circus baby, literally the clown and the bear. These are very, very clearly the Aftons. It is heavy-handed. He is the splitting image of his father, which he states by himself in the Mike monologue, and he's literally being puppeted by William. Then we got Fun Time Foxy. He is a foxy, so that's I think why a lot of people think that he is up there. And honestly, he's going to go into It's Him because he really relies on the theory that all of the fun times are representative of the Apton family. Then we have Pink Guy, and he's going into Not Purple because he's pink. The theory there is that he is smiling at Foxy, so he likes Foxy. He's from the Foxy Go 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 game in FNAF 2, quickly, and that he is like a bystander to his father's murders. And he's like just a lighter shade of purple, so he looks like his dad. And I don't know. I don't think that's strong enough evidence. Then we have Mike Schmidt from the movie Novel. Another shameless plug. I'm going to make a whole separate video on the movie Novel because I think that there's a lot to talk about in there, in my personal opinion. And these two characters, they're not like super, super different, but they are different enough where I want to treat Mike Schmidt movie novel and Mike Schmidt movie as two different characters. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to call you that. He also cannot hold a job. He's honestly a lot more Michael Afton in my opinion, just because they talk more about him being not the world's best brother. He's clearly got a lot more like PTSD going on. And they kind of go into like how rough his family life is. There's just a lot more details to him. The downside being actually moved back down here because he hates Foxy so much. It's like comical how much he hates Foxy in the book. Alright, now we have company policy, previously called Five Nights at Freddy's Clue Company Policy. He is perfection. He is going right up there with the canon Michaels. I love him so much. Alright, we got Glam Rock Freddy from Security Breach. This is another one. He's gonna go on a remnant of Michael, and that is a personal opinion of mine. I don't love him as Michael. And again, it's also very reliant on the theory that the mimic is trying to recreate the Afton family, where he would be the older brother of Gregory if Gregory is the crying child. The issue with that, there's nothing inherently wrong with that idea. It's that he is way too good of an older brother to be representing the Afton family while Cece is alive. Alright, now we have Mike from You're the Band. He is a 20-something night guard at a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and he is going in Remnant of Michael just because there's really not enough to him to be more than his namesake, other than he is very aware of the spirits in that's why I don't do unscripted content. Yeah, he's very aware of the spirits that are inside Freddy's and seems to be like trying to help them while also trying to like maintain them. So he's not a strong enough Mike in my opinion. Then we have Clara from The Immortal and the Restless, which is the sister location cutscenes. Mike in Security Logbook calls out Clara specifically and how much he relates to her. He relates to her because, like, just like her, no one seems to understand, like, how crazy everything is around her. I wish we could see more of The Immortal and the Restless. I hope that they bring it back at some point. So that way I could feel stronger about her being a Mike, because right now she's kind of gonna go into, she can go into the Mike Schmidt territories. Mostly because as of right now, it does fall apart a little bit, and I don't think there's a problem. I do not think that everything needs to be one to one all the time, but it really falls apart when it's like, if Vlad is William, why is he denying any involvement with Baby? Yeah, I don't fully understand it. I do love it for them, and I think if they ever went into more on the Immortal and the Restless, there's a lot to learn there. And again, her personality teaches us a lot about Mike, but she's just not the best. All right, now we got Vanessa Shelley, Vanessa Afton from the FNAF movies. First of all, she is William Afton's child. She is also on that train of reluctant volunteer who really, really doesn't have a choice in helping her father. I think in the movie, it seems a lot more like conflict, and we'll get into why I say this when we get into her movie counterpart in the novel. So we're gonna put her into Eggs Benedict territory because she is clearly meant to be a Michael for us in the first movie, but in the second movie it starts to fall apart a bit more, and is she kind of like in the Clara territory where I just wish that we knew more to sway her. All right, crying child. This is the Mike victim theory. No. Mike from Into the Pit. He goes to Freddy's. He has a sister. No. No, that's about it. All right, then we got FNAF World Player. So I know this is Freddy, but he is just my little stand-in for the player in general. So the idea here is that this is a representation of Michael going through trying to put all the pieces together to set up Happiest Day. Whatever is going on out there has an effect in here. So he's gonna go into It's Him, just because I could honestly be swayed either way at this point. I'm still on team like Charlie, I think. I haven't played the game for myself, and I really need to. All right, now we got Mike Trap. No. All right. Now we have Couch Mike from Midnight Motorist. So the couch person is the one who's on the couch, tells Cheeto Man to not abuse his child. Uh, I wouldn't inherently have anything wrong with this if we're on team that, like, at some point Mike was confident enough to stand up to his father. Also, they like watching TV, so there's that point of reference. It's just that they talk so, like, adult. And Mike, at the time that he would have been living with his siblings still alive, wouldn't be an adult. So I'm gonna put him in Remnant of Michael just because, like, guess, I guess. All right, we have old Mike Consequences from both UCN and FNAF World. Or in my opinion, it could be one or the other, and Henry's the other one, but that's a different conversation. I don't like talking about my theories that much. Anyway, so the idea here is that he is again still trying to help the spirits move on, but honestly, like, far more in like a psychological way, especially when he is talking to, if we presume that the Freddy little thing is Cassidy, being like, "Hey man, there is nothing that you are going to gain from torturing William to the end of time. Move on." And then obviously it goes into the drowned ending, which we will talk about separately. I really like Old Mike Consequences, but I am going to put it into It's Him to be fair. Oh yeah, there's also the screaming of Mike and Henry by presumably William in the background. But again, that just keeps it at the 50-50 between the two. All right, now we have Glitch Bear from FNAF World, and this character is pretty explicitly like, we need to set up Happiest Day. The biggest point, in my opinion, of it being Mike is his awareness of what they call the puppet master, the one pulling the strings, and that to me is pretty clearly William. Again, I haven't played FNAF World for myself. We'll get around to it. It's been years, but I'll get around to it. I'm gonna put him up in Schmidt. I feel like it's pretty likely that he could be a Michael. All right, now we have Oswald from Into the Pit, who is a child, but all things considered is not a night guard. A decent amount of the games happens at night. I think that Oswald is a standalone character, but he's going all the way up to Father It's Me, Michael, because I think he teaches us a lot about what it was like to be Mike at the time of like leading up to the MCI, as well just any time after Cece's death, where he's seeing the shift in his father from being like maybe a half decent father. Oswald's father, in my opinion, is great, but at surface level, we can assume that William was not always the world's best father, but then, like, seriously took a turn from the worst. He is also constantly being gaslit and, like, questioning his reality of whether or not Pit Trap is real. And that is a pretty good allegory for abuse of when a parent suddenly has that flip switch on their child. That's really dark. We're not going to talk about that much more. Speaking of abused children, we have Pete. Pete's not really a victim of abuse as much as he, like, is kind of getting into neglect territory. He is like an angsty teen. He is a far better brother than Foxy Bro, but he does still bully his younger brother, mostly out of frustration. Also, his dad's name is Bill, and he is like also has a strong connection with Foxy. He's gonna go into Schmidt territory just because there's some little bits of doubt in my brain with his story not entirely lining up, but I like the idea of Foxy being a representation of like the trauma that would incur after bullying his brother and constantly like feeling like he has to be on the run. And he does literally get scooped. They do take his eyeballs out, which is not the entirety of your skeleton, but it is a lot. All right, now we have the FNAF World Glowing Eyes, not to be compared with the Star Glowing Eyes. These are the ones that open up the game for the first time, where they're kind of like looking around. These are the ones that say they will put him back together, which is William Afton's line. But it's not a Mike sentiment because he puts Elizabeth back together, and he is explaining to the player, the spirits, that something is wrong, and he can't do anything but sing this stupid song. Uh, and then he's going to try to fix things from his end. I am going to put he's gonna go just right next to Glitch Bear because also you can't convince me that these might not be the same character because yellow glowing eyes. All right, then we got the gray text from Cece's fading mind. There's no reason to believe it's not, and I know that's it's not the best evidence, but like they got the gray shirt just like, or the gray text like the gray shirt. It's very reasonable that he'd be like, "Yo, bro, I'm so sorry." But yeah, and then we have the vengeful spirit. No. Runaway from Midnight Motorist. Also, I apologize that not all of these pictures are super intuitive as to who they are. There's just not better ones. Or there probably is, but like it's what I could find. It reminds me of what it is. So Runaway is a character that's very much a victim of abuse. They are running away from that situation, and this, if it's Mike, is probably when he has like a little bit more autonomy over his life, or it's not. Because I've also seen the theory that Midnight Motorist might be happening when FNAF 4 is happening, and he's starting to like question his reality, sees the bear outside, and like chases it down. Anyways, it relies on you believing that Midnight Motorist is William Afton, so we're gonna put it in at Schmidt because I could be swayed either way at this point. Now we have Vanessa Afton from the books, and I am putting her up here. She's a character I could talk for a very, very long time about, which again, that's going to be its own separate video. She's a really, really good Mike in my opinion. All right. Old King from Princess Quest. First and foremost, I need someone to tell me why everyone is so convinced that her Old Man Consequences and the Old King are the same character. Like, the FNAF fandom is very rarely 100% on the same page about literally anything. But these two share a Wikipedia article. And I'm not saying that I disagree, all things considered, I do agree. This is just why they're going together. He can go up to Schmidt. I do believe it just a little bit more. It's fascinating to me that everyone's like, no, these two are the same. So the reason he's gonna go up to Schmidt instead is because he explicitly states that he's putting the princess to rest, and I think that that's a pretty good way to say that he's helping release the spirit, specifically Cassidy's. All right, now we got FNAF World Fredbear. So, different than Glitch Bear, Fredbear himself, he's the one that teaches you how to play the game. He is also pretty aware that something's wrong. All the characters are aware that something's wrong. He is at one point, very, very done with playing the game. I don't really think that he's a Michael, though. I think that he very well might just be a tutorial character. He could be a Henry. There's just not enough either way. All right, we got Vanessa A from Security Breach and FNAF AR. She's going all the way up. Because, first of all, again, Dad's name is Bill. She is forced to lie through her parents' divorce, and then her mom presumably dies. She is absolutely brainwashed by Glitch Trap. She is both working for him, but very much doesn't want to. Security guard in her 20s. Yeah, she is. It's fascinating to me that anyone's like, no, she's baby, other than like her physical appearance. She is the Michael in that situation. All right, we are. All right, we are finally on to Rory from Dittophobia. He is most certainly a Michael. I'll put him in Eggs Benedict just to like prove my point that he is very much not one to one, but he teaches us at least a little bit about how FNAF 4 works, and all, in my opinion, is really teaching us the like extent of William's like gaslighting. Because he's on the gas. Of Mike, where it's just like that just manipulation of this is the only thing you're good for at this point. No one else could care about you the way that I care about you. It's horrible. It is icky. Dittophobia is genuinely one of the ones that really gets to me. Oh, he's a character I could talk about a lot as well. He also could be a Midnight Motorist child. Some people have said that. Really explains the whole why in FNAF 4 you seem like you're a child, but you're not. So that's that. Nah, or you can go up. Go up there, Rory. You deserve it, baby. All right, we got Hudson from What We Found. He is going to go into Schmidt territory. I think that he's pretty good at like just explaining the traumas that Mike has gone through with having an abusive family, really trying to escape, but like even when he does, he can't. He's a night guard. Unfortunately, he does get paid really well. He states that, and I don't think Michael Afton has ever been paid for in his life. Also struggles with holding a job because of his PTSD issues. Unfortunately, he's going into the Schmidt territory because he's also pretty opposite to Mike in a lot of ways, where he is instead like a victim of high school bullying and middle school bullying. As well as he just kind of seems like a nice guy and is pretty unaware of what's happening at Freddy's. It's been a long time. So I think that, yeah, it's been a long time since I've read that book. And I don't know that I read it well. But yeah, he's gonna go there. I think that he's pretty solid for a Mike, but again, just not a Mike, you know? All right, we got Michael Brooks, who is the Golden Freddy child from the trilogy. No. All right, on to the end is so near, you guys, and I'm only at 40 minutes of recording. Oh, that means I've stayed pretty good on my 30-second average. We got Jeremy Fitzgerald. Jeremy, in my opinion, is not a Mike. I think that he is just a guy, and Jeremy Fitzgerald is one of my favorite characters in FNAF because he did not have to do 6 nights at Freddy's, but he just does, and then proceeds to go to be a day shift guard. No one made Jeremy do that. He could have left. What a champ. Not a Michael. All right, on to the staff bot from Security Breach. He is dressed up like an employee at Freddy's. He's with. I know some people don't think this is the Afton family, and this is the one time that I will very, very loudly disagree. That's the Afton family, baby. The drowning ending from FNAF World. This is also labeled as a happiest day ending, where we see the three people watching TV together. And I really like this for Mike. It is going to go into Eggs Benedict because there's nothing that like convinces us that it's Mike, but I really like that for him that he's finally reunited with his siblings after he dies. I think that's cute. And also, if you are one of those people that interprets it instead as an angel, that's St. Michael, baby, protector of the spirits. Fritz Smith from Sister Location. We're so close to the end, you guys. I can see it. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We got 2 more and that's it. So Fritz Smith is the one who was fired on day 1 for tampering with the animatronics. I think that it's pretty clearly a Mike. Just because what else would he be doing there? We know that at some point he was a reluctant volunteer, the reluctant helper, or reluctant follower. All these words, there's too. We gotta get a more clear naming scheme, you guys. He belongs over here, in my opinion. Alright, then we got Mike Schmidt, who is going to go into Schmidt territory. Simply because if it's a Mike, again, he's pretty cut and dry. He's working for his father, or not. But probably for, in my opinion. He is a night guard, he gets fired, all that jazz for tampering with the animatronics. The thing that makes me convinced that he might not be is because, again, there's just not a lot of information about Mike Schmidt. Kind of in Jeremy Fitzgerald territory, we just don't know that much about him. And my current opinion is that, honestly, it doesn't matter. I know there's some people that will go to bat for that theory of whether or not he's real, or he's a real Mike, or he's just Mike Schmidt. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't change lore at all. So that's it. That is my ranking. So Father It's Me, Michael there's a lot. There's a lot in Eggs Benedict, a lot in Schmidt. They're really padded out by how massive some of these are, but like there's a lot of them. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you've got more mics. I will drop this in the down below so you guys can play with it and do your own rankings. I think it was really fun to explore all the mics. It gave me a lot more insight into what I think about him when I think about the Afton family. So if you guys want to see me go into a 3-hour deep dive on the Michael Aftons of the world, I would gladly do so on your behalf. Why is Andrew here?
I've had enough of this dumb stitch line. Made a new theory called Andrew Line.